Thanks a lot, woman.
No problem.
Oh.
How's everybody doing it?
Good, good.
Real good.
Yeah, how'd that Vikings bet pan out?
Bad news, dude. Bad news. Turns
Fuck
out
Woman.
Cousins is as bad as I thought he was.
I mean, you stink, dude.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I mean, to be honest, it looked good. But then the game started.
Seahawks just threw a pick six to start the game. That's bad news.
Yeah.
At least you didn't fumble 4 times in the first quarter.
Can't believe the Cowboys won that. Then
Yeah,
again,
still
as a
got-
lamb.
Still got my Cowboys jersey on right now.
Yikes, you're a Cowboys fan?
Oh yeah.
I just moved you down my tier list.
Wait, you have a tier list?
Yeah.
What was I and what am I now?
DK's is tier B now.
Oh, it was A tier?
Your dude.
Zero's is S tier.
Oh.
Yeah. Get wrecked, Case.
Oh, I fucked up.
That's the only list I care about now.
Okay, so you're not gonna parse high tonight?
Alright guys, let's have people log in if they haven't already, start repairing. We'll get ready to move over if you haven't. Yeah, the Vikes are looking like hot garbage this year.
Yeah. Disappointing as fuck.
Wait, they're not hot garbage every year?
Oof.
Come on now.
I think we've probably placed higher than the Cowboys the past like handful of years.
They're usually
I
like
don't know.
up mediocre and then lose in the wild card round.
I was gonna say Minnesota sports are very consistent in that like field a decent to a pretty good team until the
Hey,
playoffs,
what's up with it,
and then
guys?
just fall apart.
What's up with
The biggest
a?
letdown of my life though is just like that fucking dog shit performance they had in Philly.
I think-
It's so sad.
I think we got Restream working again.
Well, I don't know how you can go to.
I
Philly,
believe we
know you're
both
one
have
game away
Twitch
from playing
and
a
YouTube
Super
up.
Bowl at your own stadium, and then just play like.
It
dog
looks
shit
like it, at least on my end. Can we get any confirmation
against the team
in the
that,
chat? Can any of you guys type
you know, at the time
either on
was-
Twitch or on YouTube? I want to make sure everything's working fine for both of you guys. I figured out what the issue was. It was YouTube is no longer like YouTube Now or Stream Now or whatever it was called, and they're changing it to YouTube Events.
Also ripped Saquon.
So
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
they changed like their entire, I guess, like streaming platform, and so I had to like reconnect it and set up like a new thing. So it's still a little buggy. Like the thumbnail that I was using, like all my video tags, all that stuff basically isn't working.
I don't even know if I watched the Vikings
on YouTube, so it's a little finicky, but it looks like at least it's uploading to both YouTube and to Twitch right now.
I really don't want to. I feel like it was such a waste of time
You
watching
lurkers,
that.
lurkers in the chat, can you guys,
Who are
can
they
someone just
playing?
type like a letter so that I can see that the restream is actually working in the chat?
Y'all
My
can
chat
win.
thing's working.
No, that's what we just played. We just got
Yeah,
crushed.
we just got destroyed.
Oh.
We,
That
we,
reminds me.
we were thinking the same thing. We were thinking, oh yeah, we can win that game.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
They've got decent offensive line too.
Ryan, do you have the loot thing open?
I may still have it up on that screen. I was updating it earlier.
Could be worse.
Then I looked out the window and saw my neighbors like
Something here.
playing football. I was like, oh, same thing. Nice.
True.
You could be the Niners and have your quarterback and your star receiver hurt in the same game.
Man, if Thielen went down, I think we could probably be safe to say there's nothing that's gonna be going on with that team. Okay, there's a rogue that just dipped.
One of these alliance right here are probably due to stand up. We just killed them a minute ago. Bunch of mages though.
Remember, guys, if you're eligible for soft res and doing something soft res, make sure it is correct on the sheet right now. It is up to you to make sure it is correct. Need something changed? Make sure you message me.
Just a pile of gnome bodies.
Are we waiting on people, Ryan, or are we doing buffs and stuff right away?
Do buffs and stuff right away.
Okay, log back on.
Oh, y'all play the Texans next week. Or Titans, not Texans.
Do you want me tanking a specific corner?
Let's have Glar do it if he's okay with it.
We have. Hungry's not here.
Oh yeah. Yes, we'll have you take Hungry's corner then. Glar will take South corner.
What what's Hungry's corner normally?
Hungry has the north corner usually.
Okay.
Make sure we finish off these buffs, guys.
Where was that?
In the bathroom.
Oh.
You're fine taking poop.
Are we having to do the orb since Corey's running late?
Is Zub on yet? No, I think he's running a little late. Not sure how much later. Hey, Austin, can we have you do orb until Glar takes it over for the last phase?
Yeah, so you don't need me to put on like full PV or my full, like, I don't have my full tank gear on me.
Yeah, no, you're just doing it until he can take it for the final one.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Glar's gonna take south corner. Quan's gonna be north corner. Jiraiya will take east. I'll take west. For group 2, you guys will be up with Quan in the north.
What's up, Limby? Looking for anything special to drop tonight? Probably just Tier and Mish.
And then group 6 help west.
Tier and Mish.
And 7 just help wherever.
That's like last 2 things I need out of here, just both off Neff. It would be cool to get like Draconic Maul off of
Bull Mark of the Wilds, it looks like.
I just buffed everyone. What, that whole group doesn't have it?
Dude, Rand.
No, you beat me to it.
But just Tier and Mish. I'd also like to grab Draconic Maul for like Feral Set from Trash. I don't think anyone needs that either right now. We're gonna be doing Orb here first phase until the last like couple eggs.
Alright, gonna do a quick ready check.
But yeah, Mish is probably the biggest one. I'd Tier would be good too, but so many people need Tier. And if I get Mish, not that many people need Mish, so that's going to be a way easier thing. What's up, Atlantis? How you doing, man? Okay, so it looks like both Twitch and YouTube's working. Everything like looks good on your guys' end.
Everyone's ready. Gonna go ahead and pull.
When's the pizza go in the oven?
You'll know.
Twitch looks fine. YouTube looks fine. Nice. Okay. Thanks, guys. I asked earlier, and there was some lurkers, and then no one answered. So it's like, well, I guess I'll figure it out in a little bit. Yeah, I was saying I had to redo. YouTube changed their. It's now called YouTube Events instead of, I think, Stream Now is what they were calling it, and so it changed the entire way it's set up on Restream. And like the platform's changing. They're making a lot of like changes to the YouTube streaming setup that they have, and so I still got to kind of figure it out. It's still a little bit wonky, but that was why it wasn't working on Thursday. No problems here. Everything's fine. What's up, Deluxe? How you doing, man?
Sorry, Jiraiya, Glar, Quan, you guys can now mark. Go ahead and pass Dryas this yet.
But yeah, I guess they're changing, like, I mean, it makes sense. They're spending a bunch of money getting like some new streamers over there, and I know that they're kind of investing a lot into their stream aspect of YouTube, trying to kind of dial that all in.
You got lucky, Glow, with me and Lupo on your side.
MSQ Ret, what's up, man? How you doing, man? How's it? How's it? Can you guys hear the music? Can anyone guess what soundtrack this is? Anyone know? Mixing it up a little bit tonight on the soundtrack. Indiana Jones. No, good guess though.
Pizza's in the oven? Question mark.
Holy shit, that range hits all the way from here. That's insane.
Wait, is your pizza in?
Yeah, my pizza's in.
Okay, yeah, mine's in.
How far in?
All the way.
You guys really like pizza. Every Sunday, huh?
Music's a little quiet. I'll turn it up.
Every Sunday.
I'll turn it up once we get past orb duties. Not go. There it goes.
We only got a handful of eggs left.
There's a bunch back here. There's 4 or 5 back here, and then there's 5 back here, and then the one last one. Glar, it's about to drop. I don't know if this is too early to pick it up. 4 left.
Do one more.
Okay.
Do one more. We had a lot of Dragon Kings running around, guys. Make sure we're getting those spears off, and make sure you guys are focusing them down.
There's one beating up Luke.
Okay, I have this is my last egg. This is my last egg back here. Glar, are you in a spot to pick it up?
I think you might have something on still.
Is
Yeah,
he
we're killing it.
Okay, you should be good now.
ready?
Heals on Glar, heals on Glar. Get those thunders out early, guys. Unwall me. Oh, definitely crit.
Oh.
Mass loader. Zub's not here yet either, so Austin, can you just grab it and hold on to it for now?
No, I don't have. I literally have 0 bag slots. I can't do it.
I'll just grab it now. Everyone's fast. Put it on mass loader.
Druid life, dude. Druid life.
Let's res the dead real quick and get ready to run in here.
We had our first main raid Maldath drop today. Discord got pretty loud since we've only seen them on alt raids. Yeah, we got a Maldath last week actually for Sabbath, which is really huge. I think he's got it enchanted and shit too. Let's see. Dude, my like inspect player thing hasn't really been working. You should have it. Yeah, he does. Well, dude, this is the ghetto inspect right here.
Okay.
So you got Maladath, which is big, right? Because he's got Thunder Fury. It's pretty huge
Alright,
getting that
let's
on
do
your
here.
tank.
Let's do odds.
Oh, it's Honor Spy? Is that what it is? That makes sense.
Here in
It's so annoying.
2, 1, go ahead.
think we're gonna do kitty DPS again on this fight. For the buff protection. I'm gonna throw on. We're gonna kind of use like a random set of gear here.
Let's get into our positions. Who is talking to him for the quest? Crowar?
It's Crowar.
You got it? Perfect. Can we get these Mark of the Wilds out real quick? We got the quest, so we should be good to go. Just missing one.
I mean, he's not here. I can't buff him. Oh, he's over there.
All right, guys. Yeah, if you get the burning adrenaline, you run out of the raid towards like where we came in over there, like where Luthel's standing right now. Pop your GFPPs if you haven't already. Everyone else get into position. I'm gonna go ahead and start it up.
This is a really weird set of gear that we have, but we have like 100 fire resist with this setup.
Remember, guys, be slow to come in. The first couple
I need to actually stay out of form here to fairy fire.
go kind of crazy.
Why isn't it? Oh, there.
Format, get out.
What's up, Ribsy? How you doing?
Zoomers, watch it.
Glar, it's on Glar.
Damn, dude. 1800 ferocious bite crit. The whole like bag space thing really sucks because if I had like full bag space, I feel like it'd be really cool to have all these different sets of gear. I just literally can't carry the gear.
Running up to die. Hold on. Alright, let's res the dead real quick. Rebuff them while we have the debuff.
Oh, nice. We got this shield. Look at this setup of gear. Like, what the hell? This is like the most hodgepodge random set of gear. So we have our big upgrade we got last on Thursday, last raid. We got the Cthulhu ring. So this is a huge pickup. Without I don't have any elixirs or wizard oil or anything. We're at 541 spell power. Druid problems, I know. Yeah, big deeps. Let's see what the... I messed up. I think I was hitting the wrong bind there, but I was like not able to get a claw off. We're doing 300 DPS. It's like full balance in...
We only have one Druid down.
How did that belt go to double tap?
He's mastered it.
Oh, Jesus. Did I miss the earlier ones? I did. Whoops.
Alright, this one's gonna be a little weird. We don't have a second Druid to sleep this other worm tongue, so we're actually gonna kill one of them first. So, Coach, we're gonna have you sleep skull first. Once it comes right up here where Sabbath is jumping.
Can you poly them or no?
I don't believe so.
No, not Dragonkin.
And so we're gonna pick up. So Hungry, you take. Or sorry, Hungry's not here. Jiraiya, you take X. Glar, you take Star. We're gonna kite Square and Moon. So let's have Fuo on Square and Trin on Moon.
And this probably messes up inspect. Yeah, so you slash inspect people. Oh, you literally type it out.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's blow up this skull right away, guys. I'm gonna keep them turned.
Dude, I'm like traumatized of this pack from like that one time where I got aggro in the beginning and I literally got insta-killed.
You just look at the wall. Okay, Skull's here now. Skull's here. Blow up Skull. Shove, we're on X.
Whose keyboard is that? What the hell?
Dryad, grab Moon.
Somehow managed to pick up Scare Brooch because no healers. Which one is that? Is that the shield trinket?
There you go.
Finally got the cloth shoulders from the first boss in BWL. Mantle of the Blackwing Cabal. Biss, dude. Those are great shoulders. I'm wearing them right now. Can't you see? They look cool, huh? Why'd you stay in cat form for that fight? So, Veil Straws, the way the Burning Adrenaline mechanic works is if you don't have mana, you can't actually get Burning Adrenaline. And it also just sucks as a balanced druid because of Starfire being such a long cast. I didn't mean to hit that.
Target.
Starfire being such a long cast, you get a lot of knockbacks from the AoE. So basically you can just DPS in cat form because you have infinite energy. And you also guarantee that you don't get Burning Adrenaline because you don't have mana when you're in cat form, as far as like the mechanic. So like for me with world buffs, I'd rather DPS in cat form and not get a Burning Adrenaline because Burning Adrenaline, it's like a death sentence, right? Like you're guaranteed gonna lose your world buffs. So if you have like good gear or like decent gear, like feral gear, you can throw on. Ideally, you get hit cap. Like there was a bunch of misses I had in that fight. I don't know if you guys saw them or not, but because you have infinite energy, you can actually pull like 500-ish DPS as full balance spec on that fight in cat form, just because you have infinite energy. So it's more of anything like the DPS is going to be, you know, kind of similar either way, but you basically make sure that you don't get Burning Adrenaline so you don't lose world buffs for like the rest of the raid. So other casters can't do that, but I feel like it's worth it for us to do just because it saves you having those buffs for the rest of the raid and you still end up actually doing really good DPS. Like if I had a full, like you see I have all my PvP gear, so I literally have no bag slots. I like grabbed a few of my good fire resist pieces for Firemaw. But I just have no bag space. If I did in a perfect world, I would have a feral set with 5% hit, or with 8% hit, sorry. And throw it on during Veil, and you can do like 700-800 DPS if you have a decent set of feral gear as balance. You just shred Ferocious Bite, like once every time you have 5 combo points, and keep up
All the way back up into the
Tiger's Fury. It's a cool little trick that other casters can't do, but we can use that to kind of cheese it so we don't lose any of our world buffs. Where can I find a feral pre-raid Biss? To be honest, I don't know anything really about feral. I plan on, if we end up getting rank 13, which I'm leaning towards trying to do, I am going to dive into feral a lot more. But I haven't, as of Classic, looked up feral stuff really. I've looked up very basic information, but not anything currently. And the only other Druid content creator I know that posts stuff is intentionally, which does all balanced stuff as well. Like we both just do balanced Druid content. So I'm not actually sure. I know there's some good feral Druids that I've watched, but I don't think they do like guides. Like I'm trying to think. There's one guy that's a flag carrier. I don't know how to say his name, but I think his name is Qhrille, like Krill, but it's Qhrille, I think. And he's done some cool like feral videos. Ebb and Flow also does. He does kind of like more hybrid stuff. He's like main spec heals, but he might have some feral stuff. Ebb and Flow has got a lot of great content too. I really enjoy his videos, and he's very like he reminds me kind of Mad Season. Like his tone and his demeanor is very like calm, like very relaxed. But I'm not sure that if you find any good feral content creators, let me know, because I haven't looked anything up really on feral, but I'm not sure where a good resource is for that. Also, you can't really good parse anyway if you aren't lucky with adrenaline, so it's not really worth it. Yeah, exactly. Like if you get adrenaline rush like 10 seconds into the fight, then it would be kind of worth it because you could pump a really good parse. But if you get it like towards the end of the fight, or you get it too early where you're gonna rip threat, like I don't know, it's just not worth it to me. I'd rather have world buffs for the next 3 bosses or however long you can pull it off than lose them on burning adrenaline on Veil. Balance resto is much better than feral in PvP. Yeah, I mean, so originally I was actually gonna play. I leveled up and played Heart of the Wild, and was kind of intending not necessarily like raid DPS, but like feral Heart of the Wild spec was kind of what I was leaning towards playing. And every one of those videos I watched, like you guys might notice this now after I say this, but it ended up basically like the playstyle was Moonfire Insect Swarm and then just attack stuff in bear form. And it was like half of the video was just like attacking in bear form. And I'm like, I mean, I get that that's strong, but it's not like particularly exciting to play or like exciting to watch. And it's definitely effective. Like, don't get me wrong, I use bear form plenty. But it seemed like the feral build, it was like, okay, open up in cat, and then unless you're against like a mage or a warlock or a priest, you have to just sit bear form like the remainder of the engagement that you have. And so that kind of like deterred me from playing feral, because I was like, that, I mean, like that seems like it would be fun, and like doing a lot of like burst and cat would be kind of cool, but I don't want to be having to like basically just be in bear form for like a huge percentage of the time I'm PvPing. I have Horde Boomy and Alliance Feral. Got the double Druid combo going on. Yeah, I mean, like I've considered making like a second Druid, and I would do something like that too. And like have one be Feral, one be like Resto balance. I mean, at this point, obviously this one would be my balance one, but I mean, the thing is, if I end up going for rank 13, that gear is actually amazing for feral. It's very, very good. It has a ton of strength and agility and crit on it.
Go ahead and grab Star.
Then I would, I'd have like I'd put together a solid feral set, and I would like play with feral for like a couple 3 weeks, like play it enough, like try it enough to where I was like real comfortable with it, give it a shot just to kind of better understand it. And the gear's just so, the PvP gear's just so good. Like getting that increased move speed is huge. Get some lag spikes right there.
So it's really starting to look fall here. And it's getting a little cooler. And like this afternoon, I tried to take my dog on a walk, and she was just infatuated with leaves. Like she just cannot get enough of them. And it was like kind of windy, and there were all these like leaves that, because it's starting to be fall, right? They're just falling, and she was going ballistic.
Hey, there's lockboxes back here.
Let's go ahead and move up to the corner, guys.
Ryan, there's lockboxes back there. Oh, did you already give Master Loot to Zeb?
Jeff is Master Looter.
Oh.
He usually just traps in here. I'm not sure if he still is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that.
Are you often the only druid in the raid? No. No, I was early on. So we actually have 2 resto druids, and one of them is out of town this week, and the other one's in the middle of like moving and like transitioning jobs. And so he's not playing right now. But we actually usually have 2 druids. I usually am not responsible for like buffing and stuff, so that's why I keep kind of forgetting I need to buff people. I haven't had to do that for a while.
Let's go ahead and move up.
But next week we should have one of our resto druids back for sure. Yep, cats are very squishy. If they attack, you have to go bear. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would be fun. Like, you would have, you know, I don't know. It'd be fun to be like have a mix up of the play style, you know, switching from balance. But yeah, it's just even like the good PvPers, like they'll have some really cool videos and they'll have some like you can tell that they know what they're doing, but they'll still have plenty of matchups where half of the fight they're just in bear form. Which is cool. Like bear form's really strong. It's just kind of it's not super exciting. But we'll see. That's my plan. Is once like even right now I have oh god dude. I have the blue PvP set, and that's still really good for Feral too. So you know I'm a little inclined to try and pull it off right now, but I'm more interested if I can get like rank 12, rank 13 gear. That stuff's just significantly better.
Let's move up to the corner.
Seems like a pretty unpopular class so far. Yeah, so Druid is the least played class for sure. I mean, that was at least the last time I looked at the numbers. I mean, I understand because they're not. I mean, Resto definitely has its strengths, but a lot of what Druid is like in PvP is like really reliant on being a flag carrier, and you're expected to like heal and ABs and stuff, which is fun in its own way, but it's not. It's a very specific role. Flag carrying is not necessarily enjoyable. You know, and it depends on a lot of things, but that's kind of a deterrent. Like people realize like if I'm playing a Druid and I want to PvP a lot, I'm going to be expected to flag carry in Warsong. So that kind of deters people, and then in raids you're kind of always expected to heal. So if like the Druid healing style doesn't appeal to you, I can see it. And most people, like at least at the time when Classic came out, like I see a lot more balanced Druids now, but people weren't really giving any like balance any credit as potentially having any like in raid groups. And kind of similarly with Feral wasn't really expected, so it's kind of most people are thinking if they're playing Druid they're gonna have to be playing Resto. And I think a lot of people would be either like a Paladin or Shaman if you're like on either faction, and then Priests are just always so strong in Classic. So you can kind of see how people weren't super interested in playing Druids, but it's okay, better for us, right? It's like you're basically guaranteed to get access to like your tier gear in the first few phases. It's pretty easy to get priority on like leather gear. Most of your stuff is pretty uncontested. It's easy to get really good offset gear no matter which spec you're playing, because just all the niche stuff is like very Druid specific, and a lot of other classes don't want it. You went to rank 12 on. So, did you stop at rank 12, Atlantis, or did you keep going to rank 13? You just got the 3-piece from the first 3 pieces of gear and then quit grinding? went to rank 12 is Feral, 14 is Balance, Resto. It's so hard to push through the last rank is Feral. Why do you say that?
Alright guys, close side of the next cubby.
I feel like if I was Feral, I would do a lot more like world PvP, like ganking kind of stuff. Because I feel like Feral's really strong at that. Balance can also be good at that, but the fact that you're like slower in your cat form and stuff makes it a little bit harder to do kind of the world PvP ganks.
Glar, Quan, you guys might want to have your tank.
Last BMF ID I got. Let me switch my trinket here actually.
Go through a couple tanks here.
Last Darkmoon Fair ID I got booming in my main raid for run. Can you imagine how it's the PI rotation? Were you? PI with Darkmoon Fair? That sounds amazing. I know I ended up having to heal that last Darkmoon Fair. Be ready to have the LM Feral macro if someone asks for a heal in PvP. I got 14. You need a lot of solo kills. At least my brag was 750 for rank 14. Yeah, so or for bracket 14 spot. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, ours is on like the honor bonus weekends. It's around 750 for our server for bracket 1 or bracket 14, whatever you want to call it. I feel like everyone calls it different. Like everyone should call it bracket 14, but everyone says bracket 1 on my server when they're like talking about it. Wow. Double resist on the fairy fire. So yeah, our bracket 1 cap is like 750. And then I was talking to someone that was in an AV, and I was talking to someone in
Did not affect you.
And I got so much jet there, I was like, holy shit.
they were saying on Heartseeker, the server Heartseeker, that their bracket 1 cap or bracket 14 cap is 350k. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'd be high warlord so fast if our bracket was 350k. That's like 3 days of going really hard in PvP each week. It'd be so easy.
Damn, Zub.
Guys, I know we had talked about this before, but the Scepter, the Shifting Sands quest, the one that people had to do for like Scarab Lord. Really
423 DPS on Broodlord.
Part of it is to get this head, and if you're planning on trying to go for the full completion, which is quite a lot of work, I'd like to warn you guys ahead of time. You can roll on this next head. We've been prioritizing them to the Warlocks because there's an early step.
There are a few servers that have a multi-box that you pay that opens up tons of bracket spots. They have that on our server too, but we also just have a lot of people that are really sweaty that are also just pushing all that stuff.
You can actually go ahead and roll that off now, because I don't know if you can loot that to yourself and pass it out.
There's actually like a lot of like all the PvPers were talking about trying to bring the brackets down like 25,000 each week. So over a month we get it down to 100k. So bracket 1 would be 650 on BG weekends, and then 550, and then 450 for like bracket 2 and bracket 3, just to get it down for everyone so that like it's a little more realistic. So everyone's, you know, potentially down for that, but I guess and now it inspects Sabbath. Got it. Great.
guys are going for it.
But yeah, there's like it's like a multi-boxer, and he like PvPs against himself and like gets a bunch, like 15 honor kills on a bunch of accounts, and it boosts the brackets so that the brackets are way bigger. That's how it works, right?
I wish I could decay.
Gimme.
I do still use it.
I'm not gonna go for 14 though, so it's like I feel like if 13 is your benchmark and you kind of treat
okay,
the
you can
gap
run
from
on
12 to
Dragon
13 like what would be your 13 to 14, it's not too bad because 12 to 13 is like, you know, 2 or 3 weeks potentially like of like a reasonable grind, but you don't necessarily have to get bracket 1 to get rank 13. So I feel like it's like a little bit more of a more achievable goal. I definitely couldn't do rank 14 right now, but I think I'll be able to pull off rank 13. It might just take me a little while. Because like ideally you kind of set yourself up, and then because of the way that the decay works and stuff, that you push bracket 1 like 1 or 2 weeks to get the most impact out of it. I don't think it's really sustainable to try and get bracket 1 more than like 2 weeks, at least for me, and even that would be like a stretch. I don't even know if I'd be able to pull it off like 1 week.
You need to at least be on the quest, but I'm just trying to give a warning because the mats to actually go through all of it is like a fuckload. There's so many parts of that quest. You have to do so many weird fucking things around the world.
Whoa.
Just waiting for him to fly back. But we're gonna do Firemaw here, so let's get inside.
I'm trying to figure out. You guys think we should throw on our
You throw on your Nixia scale cloaks if you don't already have them on.
where is mine? Do you guys see it? There it is.
Alright, Glar, Quan, can one of you guys help with the taunt?
I should be able to do it.
So I don't have like my full crazy fire resist gear, but we're right at 200. So it should be good enough. We also have the pre-potted greater fire protection, and we have a good amount of our caster gear still on. So I think this will be fine. We'll see. I haven't tried this kind of setup in a while with like our good fire resist gear, so see how it goes.
Okay,
I had to get 550k a week just to get rank 11. 550 is not too bad. Like the problem is getting 700-ish on the BG weekends is a lot. Because you have to get 100k every day for the whole week. Like that's, if you have like one day that you basically can't do it, there's no way like make it up. It's just too much.
sorry, repositioning real quick.
Watch threat, watch threat, watch threat. Do you use Moonrise P?
You basically don't want to get too high.
I don't know what that means.
About 6 stacks or so. You want to
Moonrise.
drop them off. Yep. Take and wing buff it. Ship it back. Let's drop dry out.
I'm at 6 stacks. Whatever you. Buff Fairy Fire. I think it's better to just cast Wrath here.
Hey, you got the cloak up.
I manually did it. It's great.
Damn. Damn, dude.
Wing buff it.
I was hoping I was gonna get Moonfire on trash. Yeah, so I don't use Moonfire on bosses. I don't have the debuff slot allocation. But I will on trash. It just depends, because if the trash isn't gonna live long enough, it depends. It's like specific trash packs it's kind of worth using. Other ones it's not really worth as much. Like you're gonna actually do more damage if you get Starfires out that are just critting than by spending the global on Moonfire. But it's situational. Usually I will Moonfire if there's like 2 or 3 targets and I can kind of like spread them out to like, basically I'll Moonfire like X, but I'll be killing Skull, and it lets Moonfire get like the full damage of the 12-second duration off on X. Things like that I'll do. Wow, what the hell? Why'd that hit me so hard? Oh, that was actually not bad. Oh wow, Cloak of the Firemaw.
Oh shit! The
Wait.
belt!
Zoomers, do you have it?
What?
Oh no, it's soft res. He's gonna be my cloak brother.
I was just saying there's like a pack I think of that makes sense, like where I will Moonfire pretty consistently is like in Molten Core on like the Molten Giants. You have 2 targets that have really high health pools, and so like that's a scenario that the Moonfire will either finish its duration or get very far through it. A lot of the smaller health packs, it's just not worth it, because if Moonfire is only getting like 1 or 2 ticks off, it's not really actually effective DPS wise, you know.
After the Warlocks pull it out, Jiraiya pick up X, and then
13 to 15k an hour is what you realistically need. I mean, 13k an hour is kind of tough though. Like, if you're playing with the same 15 people and you just queue AB, you can do it 100%. But if you're not like in a group, like a team that you play with all the time, it's hard to pull that off, just because it's going to be hard to beat other pre-mades. And so you're only relying basically on pugs. But like if you can get a group of people together, like a good group, then 13k, 15k is feasible. Especially when you're talking about like AB weekend and stuff, right? Oh shit. I got aggro there, right around the corner. I'm like scared. I don't want to lose buffs.
Fire.
I did most of it solo, joking, but it's so much easier on myself. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like Rivsy, if you're PvPing with a group, it's like there's a group, like we have a pre-made Herod pre-made PvP server, and so basically there's like 50 or so people probably PvPing, and they all just use that server, and like after you do it, you kind of, it's like 50 people is not so many people that you don't like recognize each other's names and stuff, but then you get in these groups, and then like when you're in that pre-made group of people that are all like,
oh, that was on mine,
you know,
yeah,
PvP aware,
to be so much quieter.
it's just you end up winning, like you basically destroy every pug, so you can get like 6-7 minute games like in Arathi Basin, you know, pretty common if you're going against pugs. And then you have like, if you get lucky and you're in like an actually like good group, you can be beating pre-mades as well, so you'll have like, there'll be slower wins, but a lot of times like the actual honor kills are worth more honor. So if you're getting 13,000 honor an hour, which is kind of like a pretty easy number to get to if you're running with like a good squad, and you're not having to like substitute a bunch of people in or people are leaving and stuff, then getting 450, 500,000 honor a week is not too bad, because you can get, you know, a really good chunk of it in 5 or 6 hours. But doing it solo is tough. There's benefits though, like solo kills are worth so much honor. So like us being able to stealth, there's definitely in certain BGs, like not in Warsong but in AB, like you can basically kind of ignore the base caps and like try and go for solo kills like around the map, you know, or like ninja a base and then try and hold it off and like have like 2 or 3 solo fights, and if you win those fights then you can get a ton of honor that way too, because you can get 300 honor per solo kill, right? And that's like a lot. I mean,
Whoa, stop pretending, get back
pretty lucky with the vulnerabilities here. I'm a little scared to attack anything though.
No.
Should we do this one?
No.
You're like a brother to me.
Okay, I'm at 50% threat on that.
Your hand was like a brother to me.
Actually, triangle's fireball.
Let's finish off X here. It's pretty low.
I don't have any lips. Oh, solo for the last 2 ranks. If you get solo kills in AB, you can get 12 to 13k. Key is to win fast or lose fast. I can't blame them, but mostly, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's funny you just typed that because that's my point too. Is like if you basically you have to kind of change your mindset, because usually I'd be like, oh yeah, like I'll like just sit a base, but it's not really effective. You actually end up getting a huge portion of your honor from actual kills, like honor kills. And if you can get them where you don't have any of your teammates around you and it's not split, then you can get a ton of extra honor that way. Because if you win or lose fast and then you get 10 solo kills, that's an extra, 2,500 honor right there. So it's like, obviously that's going to be hard to get 10 solo kills in an AB, but I mean, you get the idea. If you're able to get that solo honor kill, it's easier to do in like an Alterac Valley, because you can like be in separate parts of the map and generally find a place where no one's around you to like leech to your honor. But AB is my favorite too, and I think AB so far seems to be the fastest, like most consistent way to actually farm honor to me. Warsong can be good, but it's all contingent on you winning. So if you end up going against pre-mades, or you go up against like a couple good druids that even if you win but it takes like the games just drag out because the druid's so slippery, like it's not good honor per hour, and it's hard to get solo kills in Warsong, especially if you're a druid, because you're kind of always expected to flag carry. And then AV, the queues are just too long for that to be super reliable, but usually I'll try and get like 1 AV in a day if I can, like queue and then do ABs, and then hopefully the AV queue pops like before I log off. Why can't I target this guy? Yeah, I had the most fun doing solo kills in 2v1s anyway, I agree. It's definitely the most fun, and it's like, I feel like druids, like, every class would be different too, like ranking up when you think about it, because like the fact that we can stealth, I don't know what vulnerability this is. I'm guessing it's Shadow if Cormac pulled. Every class would have to kind of play it a little bit different, right? Like rogues, you would want to like world PvPing and just ganking people would be the easiest. As a druid, I feel like we have a lot of benefits in like certain BGs because of how quickly we can kind of get around the map, and the fact that we can stealth and heal like gives us a lot of potential to be able to like have 2 or 3 fights in a row and not have it be problematic. That's kind of cool. I didn't really realize all that prior to like trying to rank it all. Warsong flag carrying is terrible honor. Exalted Gear is best though, yeah. I mean, I think Warsong would be fun if I had a group that I was queuing with that I played Warsong and I was spec to play Warsong. Warsong's not very fun spec balance, and it's not fun like solo queuing Warsong to me. I'll do it to kind of mix it up so that it doesn't feel like you're just doing the same stuff over and over again, but I definitely enjoy Arathi Basin the most, because that's like to me is like the great combination of like actual fighting, like like 5v5 fights, 10v10 fights, and then also strategic gameplay with like taking the bases and all that. Warsong is just not really fight based at all, and the fights are very sporadic and kind of hard to anticipate when they're gonna happen and all that, and it's hard for them to be kind of even. And it's all just about the flag carrying, and it's so finicky, like the fact that you can like jump up all the walls and stuff. Like even though we're the class that does that all the time, I still don't like that. That's like a mechanic in the game. Oh shit!
Bro, he's already back.
That was kind of scary.
Oh, I'm so fucking out of it. Actually, I didn't realize.
Says I'm only at 30%
No, it's
threat.
okay, guys. I'll kick him twice.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dad.
But that's the main reason I like AB is like if you get kind of over like playing AB and worrying about the bases, like you can just run around and just fight people. What's up, Shosh? How you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back.
The Draconic for Dummies is over here.
I moved up 3 spots on my raids DPS just from rank 1 Starfire. Thanks for the tip. Hey, that is great to hear. Just using it to help sustain over the longer fights or what?
Matt, are you able to target him off me?
Good.
Awesome.
I'm glad that that's a helpful tip. It's pretty insane when you
Go ahead when you guys are ready.
figure out the mana efficiency of rank 1 Starfire. It's pretty absurd. I'm curious too. I didn't actually plug in the numbers on there, but I'd be curious to see if I plugged in like fully buffed with Flask and like, you know, say you're what, like 750 spell power or something like that, what the efficiency is. Because the number I did was 500, which is basically like my spell power unbuffed. What the hell? What was attacking me? But I didn't actually even look to see how high the efficiency gets if you're like super stacked with buffs.
Good Nickus.
Release him back. Both, please.
Nature.
Tier tonight? Hey, let's keep those fingers crossed. I was going into cat form. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people that do that strategy. I actually never really did that because I didn't have my bind set up well. And the positioning is very different too when you're positioning is very different when you're doing boss fights and you're like doing it as a ranged DPS and then like switch to a melee. Like you have to understand different mechanics a lot of times. You know, what'd be interesting, kind of makes me think of it, is what if, so I don't know if this would work or not, but it's thinking back, like my PvP spec I have is like down into feral charge and then down into balance, right? But you lose reflection. But what if you did that spec with the full tier 2.5 set and like caster offset pieces and then basically casted max rank until you went out of mana and then went into cat form and then DPS in cat form. And then once you got mana back, go back into Moonkin form and DPS in Moonkin. I wonder if that'd be good.
It's only Trin. And
Why
she's
is it?
the one.
Oh.
Yep, I know, that's what I'm saying. We do not have anyone else to pick it up.
Am I in that Hellfire? I am. Rain of Fire. Jesus.
Stars Frost.
You can release the other one, please.
I'm trying. It keeps flame striking me.
I didn't believe in you.
I hit 1K on Veil and as Kitty with chicken spec.
Damn, Quan, those
Nice.
reflexes.
I mean, I definitely like. So I feel like if I had rank 13 gear and I was able to get like hit cap with that setup, you could easily get to that point, right? Because you're just gonna be like the infinite energy is so crazy for that fight. I don't have anything for that.
Yo, yo.
Dude, I'm halfway to tier 2.5. I may try that. I mean, I'm gonna. So I actually plan on. At some point, once we get the gear, I want to do like Druid DPS in Druid gear as Blizzard intended it. So like full tier 2.5.
Quantify that is funny.
And like just basically like the Druid enchants and like trying to make it work with the tier 2.5 set and seeing like how we do performance wise. So it's like not using Bloodvine, like not using like BIS stuff, but using the Druid gear and trying to play
You guys are unbelievable.
like whatever spec we're playing, like balance feral with the Druid gear rather than just like random cloth pieces and all that. And basically in pre-bis with pummelers, yeah, that's pretty impressive. Worth a 10G to reset the talents. I mean, so the biggest thing, like, it depends on what content you're doing, but I really
Pick up skull here.
Why you hating on me? I'm in my bag.
Guys, let's go for star here first. I'm just waiting for some healer mana.
Is that like slang for safe space?
No, it means you're focusing on yourself.
My favorite spec to play, like what actually feels fun to play, is balance into feral charge, but you don't have reflection. So on
Quantity,
raids,
not quality.
like progression raiding, it's really tough because that's a lot of MP5 over the whole raid that you're losing. But it's way more fun to play when you're talking about like PvP and open world and stuff.
Quantity is quality.
So if you could do that where you basically are like alternating the fact that you have gear that has hybrid itemization where you have strength and agility on it and DPSing in cat form rather than downranking, I don't know. It'd be an interesting idea.
Star is frost. X is frost. Skull is shadow.
Careful on
Star first.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. It's like 3 less starfires to fight, not having reflection. It's not even that. It's probably actually even less than that. So I did the math, like on my normal gear, my normal balance gear, I have like 160 MP5. I'm sorry, 160 spirit. And that equates to like 12 MP5 with the reflection talent.
Skull first, guys.
So you have to end up having a lot, like it has to be a very long duration of fights to have that actually equate to any value. But it is noticeable, like when you're raiding, if you're not running that, it is noticeable that you're going to go out of mana sooner. But I agree with you. It's not a huge difference one way or another. But I think that I don't think that play style or that idea makes sense if you're not using gear that's like hybrid itemization. So like maybe you use like that Druid the weapon, what's it called from the quest, the AQ quest, where it's like got less spell power, but it has like the bonus attack power for feral. Use the cloak that's like all hybrid itemized, the ring. I don't know, it'd be interesting. I'd be curious to see. You'd have to see how much damage you can do in cat form with that gear on, and then you'd have to kind of balance it between the two. But I feel like it'd be fun. I mean, that's like kind of the PvP play style a little bit of that build, but I wonder if you could make it work in PvE as well. Be interesting. The problem is you have to split hit with spell hit. Yeah, I would basically be going all spell hit. I wouldn't be going for feral hit. Unless you're able to get like a couple pieces, but yeah, that would be the problem, is you'd be like not hit capped. I mean, the thing too is you could potentially, I mean, I don't know how big the difference would be in DPS, but as I say, you could basically throw on like a full feral set for certain fights, and you could throw on like a balanced set for other fights. and potential like be hit capped in feral with your feral gear.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Would that be like 6 out of 6 rank 10 PvP set?
You wanna do it?
Yeah, well, so basically, yeah. So like the tier 2.5 stuff is what I was talking about, but it's itemized the same way, same idea. So like any of that gear, the rank 12, 13 gear, the rank 10 gear, tier 2.5 is all that hybrid itemization, the AQ20 like class gear, all of that stuff. You could basically use all that and actually play Druid with the Druid gear that Blizzard intended and try and come up with like this weird hybrid play style and see if it actually works. 2 Cyclopean bands. Yeah,
That's right,
exactly.
money. It costs me too much gold dying out here, so you
really
guys have
commit to the
step it up.
hybrid.
Jeff, you're not muted.
Yep. It.
Alright, Matt, go ahead and pull.
Where do I stand?
Basically, you're gonna stand right over here, and then when you're tanking the boss, you'll tank him like right here. But you want to like move out so you're not getting hit by the wing blast or the shadow flame when you're not tanking him.
I'm putting this on.
Yes, make sure you guys have your cloaks on. Cloaks, cloaks, cloaks.
There it comes. Get him.
Fucking Jesus
Please don't.
Christ, what is happening?
Please don't drop.
I got a Lua error. Sorry about that, guys. I fucked up that initial pull.
Watch threat, guys.
Ugh, how hard is it to not DPS?
Can you battle as a healer, Austin?
Yeah, he just said.
Thank you. Taunting. Wing buff it on me. Quan, you might need to taunt here. Okay, Dry, you're next. Go ahead and taunt. It's on Quan. Quan's down. Taunting. Wing buff
I'm
it.
just downranking here.
You wanna taunt here?
I use my innervate on Loopy. I want to make sure that the tanks stay alive. So we're just going to downrank. It's really annoying.
Go ahead and taunt Raya.
I'd have been really pissed if I died there. We still might die, but
Jiraiya, he's about to get Ebon rocked. I taunted. Oh, Jiraiya's got it. Never mind. Don't have my taunt yet. Just a second. There we go. Go ahead and taunt Jiraiya. Go ahead and taunt Jiraiya. Shadow flame on him. Taunting.
I didn't mean to cancel that right there.
Resisted. Give me a second. Mocking blow.
No.
Here we go. Got taunt on me.
I have a rune somewhere. I don't have that.
Taunt when you
I don't have it on my
come
binds. Dude.
God damn, that's
Alright, put those
two.
resins out.
It's so annoying, man. I really hate when people rip aggro in the first 10 seconds like that because they literally just can't wait and then kills half of our raid. So stupid.
That was rough. I got a fucking Lua error, like literally as I was running into pull, and like it wasn't recognizing my inputs until I closed out of it.
I think my guild wouldn't like missing out on the crit bonus from Moonkin form. That's actually a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Trank order, Trin, and Fuo.
I'm surprised we still did 225 DPS downranking almost that whole fight, battle resing and innervating someone else.
I think you should let me be in the trank rotation because I've read the book from my library about 70 times. I'm ready.
We already know it's a lie, dude. You don't have to keep up this charade.
Stop telling everyone.
You can't even read.
Okay, nobody needed to know that. Didn't have to tell anyone that part.
Oh, so we got the shadow damage gloves.
I wouldn't worry about it.
It's actually a pretty good drop. I think there's people that want these. These are really good, aren't they?
Speech.
Those are like pretty close to BIS. Like if they're not BIS, there's like they're second in line. Oh shit! Now I gotta buff everyone again. Damn it.
It's simple calculus.
All right, now that we got everybody up, let's top everybody off and get these buffs out. Get ready for the pull.
Let's just say I'm on my way to the state that Ryan was
I also told my guild
Saturday night.
how you guys pull Cthulhu, and we finally
Friday
got to phase 2, and no one died
That was
running
Friday.
in.
No, it was
Oh,
Friday.
where like Sabbath runs in way early, and then we run after.
State of depression?
Is that what you mean?
Ohio?
Yes, Ohio.
Ohio.
The more we do that Cthulhu fight, the more I actually really enjoy that fight. I wish it. I mean, there's a few fights that are kind of like that, but I wish they had more fights similar to that. That's like a really mechanically really fun fight to play. I like all the mechanics in that. Yeah, cool, man. I'm glad you found that helpful. Yeah, like Twin Imps and Cthulhu are definitely, like, of all the fights so far in Classic, those are my two favorite fights. The way they're set up, I think there's like really cool, like interesting, unique mechanics where they feel just so unique. Like the fight feels so specific. Each boss, where it's like you, like on these, all of these, it's kind of like you kind of feel like you're just killing the same thing in a different part of the dungeon. I just did that. What the fuck?
Awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this back.
But I like how different some of those, like even Oro, like I'm not a huge fan of the Oro fight, but even that has like a very specific, different, unique feel.
Fuo, Nick.
I'm gonna taunt him off you when I can here, Drya.
That's gonna be res.
I don't.
You have your cloak on.
I don't have B-res.
Just taunt after each of these wing buffets.
Heal big on the frenzies, guys, because we don't only have 2.
You guys need to move up here slightly here a second.
Can you stand with your back towards the wall?
Yeah.
Trent, if you can get next.
I got the last one.
Yeah, mine's down. I just shot it.
Okay, I got it. It's
Yeah, I
gonna
got
have
the
like
next.
a 1 second delay on everyone.
Shadow Flame, then wing
Got it.
buffet.
Got it. Good job.
350-ish DPS.
Alright, let's get those reses out. Oh no, Rasak isn't here and his shoulder's dropped.
Rip.
I don't think he needs those shots.
He already got him, didn't he?
Yeah, he has them.
It's just a pain getting in the room, and it's a fun fight. Yeah, we finally just one-shotted twins last week. Nice.
He just has these shoulders.
They put me on bug duty, and it changed everything.
It decays.
The like what killing when the big like enraged bug. Is that what you mean? On bug duty? Yeah, I've thought about that. Like, I think what we do is I think we have our melee. I've been healing that fight, but I think we have our melee.
Wait, where's your poison?
That's
Just swap to those bugs as they're transitioning like across the room, and that's worked. But I've thought about that too because those bugs don't have that much health. So if you get like 3 starfires off, they're basically dead. And like if you get a
poison
crit,
is
it's probably
budget.
2.
You want me to give you some?
But I could see that being really good
do an
for
experiment. Come
for
on.
balanced druids. Just the
Poison,
big
only Zug.
burst. It's important, like not getting hit by the little fire bugs, like the fire AOE bugs on the caster side, and controlling the enraged bugs is a big deal. Like those 2 things can really mess up the heals on the tank because if the heals get killed by that or like get aggro, they're gonna inevitably start getting aggro on the big bugs because they're just healing aggro is gonna get to them. And if that happens and then like a tank doesn't get a heal because the healer's getting attacked and like getting spell back, like pushed back and stuff, that's definitely a huge issue on that fight. Okay.
Star shot it into frost.
Guys, we're on star. We're on star.
Just the yellow bugs before they turn explode. Yeah. Hopefully, we might end up having our Ani buff all the way up through Neff, which will be
Alright, let's move over here.
first time in a long time that I've had that. I don't know if... I mean, I might have just jinxed myself, but... Moonfire's key. So you just are moonfiring the little bugs? That makes sense. Yeah, I was talking about that before. Like, I feel like even DPSing that fight is balanced. It's really tough because your cast speed is long on Starfire, and there's so much movement on that fight that when you're going back and forth, that it's like your uptime just feels so low. Like you're spending so much of the time running and not actually
Let's get some mana.
DPSing.
Can you mark the wild on zoomers?
I only have 4 sands. Do we have any healers that don't have any? Or tanks?
I actually have a decent amount. I got a bunch tonight.
Oh, I have 3 on me too. I forgot to give over.
Go, I have some I can give you if you want to open trade. Where you at? Alright, Loopy, I got some for you too.
Chungus already got me. Thanks, though.
Alright, I got you. Alright, can we get a summon for Fuo?
Trin Fuo tank transporter.
Please give all this a couple seconds for threat.
Yeah. Don't pull aggro.
Eat.
Alright, we should be good. Remember, Dry is going in first, then everybody else.
Use a lot of demonic runes on twins, but it's worth it. Then I innervate the healer when I can. Yeah, I mean, honestly, between if you get good with the down ranking and runes and potion cooldown and kind of getting really comfortable with juggling those, The mana thing is not really an issue. Because, I mean, you'll do less damage, but if you have your... Of course, it's nature on pull. I don't want to do anything on this. I want to make sure he has a threat lead. I don't want to try and DPS in the first opener if it's nature. It's not worth it. Just chill.
Fire. Time lapse.
I got.
It's on Quan. Good Quan if you can. Back on Sabbath. Make sure you are below Jiraiya on threat, guys. We're gonna need to make sure of it. Get time lapse. Incinerate.
Oh my god. Oh, that did hit us? But I resisted? What? What happened?
Time lapse in 5 seconds.
Everyone stay in, unless you're supposed to stay out. It's on Jiraiya. Back on Sabbath.
Train.
Up, guys.
Breath in 5, get out.
Detect magic, please.
Time lapse in 5, stay in.
On Jiraiya. Good job, Jiraiya.
Train.
Breath in 5, get out.
Getting so unlucky. I had 2 arcanes and I haven't really been able to like DPS either of them. I don't want to use any more sands either. I'm just gonna decurse.
Train.
Time lapse in 5, stay in.
Oh, nice. It's an action shot.
Good fireball.
Nice job, guys.
Hey, Loophole.
So I think I got hit by an incinerate right there, but I didn't get the dot. But I got hit. I thought incinerate leaves like a burning dot, but maybe I'm wrong. Oh, dude,
Do you still not have poison?
that's big.
Capiche? Nah, I don't need it.
What's the add-on that you use to show what the weakness is? It's does it work in other raids too? I think. Is there other raids that have vulnerabilities like that? I don't think there are, unless I'm just not thinking about it. It's a weak aura.
We have 19 people with the debuff, so let's just wait it out. I see 10 minutes.
It's this.
We're gonna have the sands for that.
There's like a elemental shield weak aura, and it'll just, if you have detect magic up, it'll detect which weak aura it is. Yes, and
yeah,
Nax.
let's
Okay,
just
that
do
makes
loot now
sense.
while we're waiting for the
I can measure the amount of crits you do by the
that
pitch of your
rocket's
voice.
so last phase.
Yeah, it's probably a good indicator. That
If
is.
you guys do not have the debuff, you can log out if you want, but we are doing loot right now, so just a heads up.
Thaddeus and Lotheb also have the same kind of stuff. Is it the same kind of, it's like Chromagus type mechanics? That's kind of cool. Give damage boost. That's cool. I didn't know that. I haven't looked up any of the Nax fights or anything like that. I like this shield model, dude. The shield model has a lot of nostalgia. Nice, dude. I didn't even know this dropped tonight. Oh my god. Goaler of the 92.
Oh my god, silent.
Yeah, screw because our mages don't call out when it's Arcane Reflect, so I keep having a Moonfire rank 1 to check. Yeah, you should definitely get that weak aura. It's really, really helpful. And it's it works on the ads, like the trash ads too. So is you don't need it? Oh, you just canceled it. It works on the trash ads too, like the packs leading up to that. What is he doing, dude? So it's a good oh, it keeps stunning him.
These loot messages are very personalized.
They sure are. Congrats, Raid.
It keeps I don't know if you guys are seeing that. What's happening is he's opening the trade window with me, but we both keep getting stunned, and so it keeps canceling the trade. So it's like the window's open for like 1 second and then we get stunned. It's funny. Lothib is an add-on kill. It gives the group a damage buff. Oh yeah, it's like the little spores, right? Is that the same The same boss that I'm thinking about with the little spores, and you like kill the spores and you stand next to it, and then it gives you like a damage increase. And it stacks for more and more damage. I don't like Chromagus, it's all luck. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's a cool fight where it's like you actually are having to pay attention because every week you do it is different, which is cool. I like that, but it can feel bad if you don't get any of your vulnerabilities for like the whole fight, or you get like one at the very beginning. It can feel kind of crappy just because you're not having like any cool like high burst damage windows. Yeah, the spore thing. Yeah, I remember that fight from back in the day. Like, I didn't do actual Nax. I did the like revised version. I don't think I ever did it at 60. I think every time I had done Nax was like the, when was it in like WAD or whatever. Dude, it's too much. Do you guys know, so for PvPing, what enchant is the best for Feral? Is it like 15 agility that you would want on the two-hander? What's up, Blue? How you doing? Still no Twitch? It's on Twitch right now. Twitch is up. Got anything good? No, but I think we're going to get Draconic Maul for our offset here for our Feral set. I'm going to start trying to work on getting that all dialed in. And then we're about to do Neff. We're waiting for a bunch of people have the Bronze Affliction, so we're waiting for that to fall off. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on Neff, maybe Tier Mish, hopefully, if we're lucky. Chromagus is a cool fight. It's just bad for parsing. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I like the... like I was saying, like a...
Shadowlands coming up. I'm thinking
Hold on.
of... might be doing a World Star Retail Guild. If anyone has interest in doing stuff with World Star crew on retail.
What server?
15 strength is more reliable.
Bleeding
That makes
Hollow.
makes sense.
My character, I know some of our characters are on Cho'Gall, but the server's dead and terrible. So I heard Bleeding Hollow is pretty good. So
and dead.
I think we're gonna be moving.
Only join if we're on an RP realm.
We should do Tyke, dude.
Rob Mob.
Dude, Tyke is West Coast coach. No one else wants that.
Tyke is like the best PvP server in all of retail.
Staying horde side?
Server doesn't matter. It's retail.
Austin, I think you're thinking of Ragnaros.
It matters for Mythic.
Bleeding Hollow has mythic stuff. That's where
Bleeding
we are right
Hollow,
now.
It's,
So the
what I
first
heard, it's
part...
pretty solid realm.
Didn't they remove the server requirement on Mythic?
No, I have no idea. Mythic rating is the only server requirement these days.
okay, I get what you're saying. You start the first part, like the phase 1 of this fight, you start with rank 1 Starfire, how to manage my mana on this fight. I usually use rank 1 Starfire or rank 1 Wrath. Or like rank 3 Wrath, I think is what I use, or rank 3 or 4. I'm trying to save buffs.
If we go Alliance, we have a better shot of being Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but think of the sacrifices you would have to make to do that.
I'm trying to save buffs here. But yeah, usually I do that same thing. I use like rank 1 Starfire on the ads if we can, and then ideally you can get a drink in between the transition, but if you can't, you just basically have to try and use potions and runes on cooldown kind of to last, or just start down ranking early on if you're trying to save potions.
Soldier's giving me a boner.
I'm already a
Back
shitty
on Twitch, there
human in
you
real
go,
life,
Blue
but I
Ones.
want to be one in a video game.
Oh, we're gonna pull soon.
Yeah. Looks like we grabbed the buff. Let's or the debuff. Let's rebuff here real quick so we're ready to go. To split here, let's do group 2 left, group 3 right, group 4 left, group 6 right, and then group 7 I'm gonna split you. So Strava, Cormac left, Xanon, Dror right. Actually, I put all the mages on one side, didn't I?
Sure did.
Let's
I can go
actually
left.
just have. Wait, which side did I say group 6 is on?
Right.
Let's have group 7. You guys go right, and then Wummy and Rid, you guys go left. Those are soft res. I believe Jiraiya has the chromatic boot soft res.
Alright, which side needs the most damage? I'll go on that side.
Trin doesn't have buffs.
Alright. That should be
Does everyone
good
else
with
have
our
buffs?
split. Let's make sure we get these hints out real quick. Get ready to go.
Make sure you have your cloaks on.
Ani cloak, Ani cloak.
Congrats, Jiraiya.
You do not die, you will die.
Yeah, and in phase 1 on this, it's all about just doing some damage that's effective. So I prefer usually using Starfire over Wrath because sometimes stuff will die during the travel time
I'm built different.
of Wrath, and so it's just wasted mana. So at least if you're downranking Starfire, if it's not gonna land, like it won't use the mana. But really, this should be up to like your warriors and rogues killing the stuff on this because they're all really squishy.
Cloak on.
But yeah, that's usually the game plan here. And then I'll DPS, and if I have cooldown, like potion cooldowns up around 50%, I'll start like either throwing in down ranks or downranking entirely, or like alternating to kind of manage my mana pool. And then I'll usually around like 2,000, 1,500 mana, I'll start downranking if I don't have any of my potion cooldowns or runes back up, because it's basically the way it's 84 mana I think for rank 1, but I think of it in like 100 mana increments. So it's like, okay, that's 15 Starfires that I can get off. So you're going to be getting more than that because you'll have some passive regeneration going on. But that's generally what I'm doing. And then in a perfect world, if you're trying to really maximize your mana, you want to start using your potions really early. Right? So like as soon as you're 1,500 mana down, you want to start, using potions right away. And then
Bronze on the right.
Yeah, see, so like here, I can't use Arcane because Bronze is all Arcane resistant, so I'll like downrank Wrath here. And I'll usually throw like 1 or 2 of these out, and then just try and be like kind of helpful. But it's really up to the melee need to kind of carry the DPS in this first part.
I think we need a little more damage on the right side.
I can come over. This might require more than me.
Yeah, we need a lot.
Wami came too.
No coughing. Sorry. Social distance.
Yeah, send one more.
Do you prefer YouTube or Twitch? Does it make a difference for which one people are watching on? No. The only reason I stream on both is I know people are partial to which one they prefer to watch on. But it doesn't matter to me at all. Like if Restream is working and I can stream on both platforms, like Restream has the chat feature where it puts both of the chats, like YouTube chat and Restream chat, are in the same chat thing, so it's easy for me to like watch. So it doesn't really bug me. In a perfect world, I wish YouTube was better for streaming because it would be nice to have only one platform to use. Because I'm not very familiar with Twitch because I don't use Twitch a whole lot, and I don't I like YouTube. I upload videos and stuff like that too, so I'm more like just familiar with just everything on YouTube as far as like the UI and the profile and all that kind of stuff. So I personally prefer using YouTube, but it doesn't make a difference to me. Whichever one you guys enjoy watching on is power to ya. That's why I stream on both, just because I know people have a preference. It would be great. I wish that like YouTube's streaming would just be like Twitch. Like it would make it so much better because the fact that the VODs and everything just automatically upload onto YouTube, and then if you also make other like YouTube stuff, you can have everything in one spot. Like that's such a cool idea. The way that is, it's just not implemented very well yet. But hopefully YouTube making whatever changes they are to their streaming platform right now, hopefully kind of helps with maybe improving their streaming aspect of their platform better. It'd be great. Does that work? Oh, I was gonna say those are like way squishier totems. I only had like 100 health. Have you done a video explaining your talent tree yet? No. I actually have started recording. I'll do it sometime here in the next couple days.
Roll call.
Started recording, going over the talents a little more in depth now because the current phase, like just the stuff that I have, like the videos I have were from like phases 2 like and 3, like earlier phases, and nothing's really changed like significantly, but there's a lot of different items are available, and I understand more about the class and everything in general now, and what's relevant for like things like Molten Core and BWL is very different now than what it was when that was like all progression type stuff. So I'm actually in the middle of doing an updated video going over talents, mostly from like a PvP perspective, but kind of explaining kind of like different values of different talents, because a lot of that stuff is kind of misunderstood. I don't know if that was Deluxe or I can't remember who it was saying earlier that Reflection's not super, or no, I think it was Shosh was saying Reflection's only like 3 Starfires in a fight, and there's a lot of truth to that. Reflection is very good, but none of the talents, like no talent is make or break, right? It's all, you're just weighing like this talent has X amount of value and this talent has Y amount of value, and which one is better. And most situations, like if you're talking about PvE, it's pretty like binary, like this is better than this. But there's definitely some stuff where it's like, well, this is better in PvE, but for PvP, this is way better, and what you actually lose in PvE is pretty negligible. I'm downranking rank 1 here. I'm gonna go ahead and potion though and max rank again. I also have another rune.
Nice job on those ads, yeah. Holy shit.
But yeah, I'll probably have it in the next like couple days. I'll probably post it up. Going over the talent. There's basically 2 talent builds that I think, like if me playing balance, there's 2 talent builds that I would play. One's like works both for PvE and PvP, and one's specifically like stronger to me in PvP. But if you're just doing farm content, it doesn't really matter too much. No tier, no mish.
Port away or leave. Think
Feels
we're gonna
bad.
Be doing a binding run now.
Yes, the 2 bindings are gonna drop.
But sorry, that was a long-winded answer. Saying it'll be up soon. I'm gonna post something here in like the next few days. I started recording it, but it's gonna be one of those videos. It's gonna be like a 30 or 40-minute video, and I'm gonna put timestamps, kind of going over more stuff, because I feel like the video that I have kind of doing that is a little outdated in the sense that all of the gear that's currently available just vastly supersedes any of that old gear, and having better gear changes a lot of things, because like for example in PvP, if I have 6,200 mana, which is pretty close to what I'm at in PvP, I'm around 6k, 5,800, something like that if I have AI. Mana regen isn't as big of a deal, because the vast majority of duels or fights, you should be able to kill people before you use 3,000 or 4,000 mana. Now I'm not talking about like dueling tournaments. I'm just talking about like general like world PvP stuff like that. Running out of mana is pretty rare if you have 6,000 mana. When like originally I recorded that stuff in phase 1, we had like 3,400 mana. right? So it's like that's like a big difference because it's like that's extra just 2,000 mana you get just from having better gear. Not to mention you're just doing way more damage, and like the amount of damage and output you have scales way higher with the gear than like people getting an extra 1,000 health with additional stamina on their gear. So I feel like talents like Reflection or things that are mana regen have less value if you have really high base stats, because you're kind of playing the game of you're relying that you're going to do so much damage, or you have so many just raw stats and stamina and mana that's really what you're kind of playing around more so than this like longevity type play style. And so it just ends up kind of changing the value of
Things gonna come back.
of how significant certain talents feel. Like I would say Reflection and like PvP stuff most of the time is pretty unnoticeable. Like the chance that
Can we
you
get some tea bags on Zoomers, please?
Yeah, looking for tea bags. Anybody that can. I love you, Dad.
But the chance that you have like a PvP duel or a scenario where you're just completely out of mana with no cooldowns and having, you know, 10 or 15 MP5 over the duel or that fight is going to be the difference. It's obviously is a situation that does happen some, but for me and my personal experience, like those situations are much less common than the opposite, where it's like either you die and you have half your mana, or you kill someone and you have half your mana. Like that's a much more common.
So next time, do what we usually do and just wait for people to get there, and don't fuck it up.
Holy shit.
It's too fucking easy, Ryan.
Oh my god. I mean, we're about to lose all our buffs anyway, but that was scary. There's a whole raid outside. Yeah.
Let's get ready to all pop out together.
Yeah, sync it up. Just wait at the
It'd be awesome
entrance.
if you go over your talents and current and future gear. Yeah.
Out,
Yeah, no, it was funny is I actually like clicked back on like the old PvP video, and I actually didn't watch any of it, but like it loaded and the picture was like looking at my character, and it's like the gear that I had was like tier 1 and those like little dinky like leather shoulders, and it took me back. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like it's been so long. That's like it feels like 2 different games almost.
It's clear on the exit, by the way. Oh, there's running up the chain.
But and so when I like saw that, I thought about it and I was like, I should update this because I feel differently about a lot of talents, and I have just kind of I mean, when I made that I had a good understanding of stuff, but I just have way more hours rated and PvP'd with like specifically as balance, and like I feel like I just have a much better understanding of a lot of that stuff now. So I feel like it's worth updating that, because phase 5 compared to phase 1 is very different as far as just gear you have accessible to you, and balance specifically feels so different with good gear because of the fact that it's kind of like an off meta spec. So once you're able to start getting gear, it changes a lot of things with like just your overall kind of play style and how stuff feels. I can't believe we actually lived right there. I thought for sure I was dead. I was gonna zone in and die to dots. Easiest way to significantly bump your Nef pars is minimum consumables is the Stratholme Holy Water. So it depends. I think Warcraft logs changed it where it doesn't take into consideration the ads, damage done to the ads. It did initially do that, but then they changed it at one point where it was boss damage only. Because I remember one time I did it and it was like my DPS on the meters was like 500 something, and then on the logs it said it was like 300 something. And the variance I figured out was ad damage, and it was by default showing. Hey, dude, Angrath with the big weapon.
Unsound, what's your ult's name?
It's just unsound.
Unsound.
Wait, let's do the /inspect. Oh, nice, that does work. So Angrath has had Brute Blade. He's got Edge Masters though, but he's had Brute Blade and Corehound Tooth. So he finally got Angrath has raided with us for the entire time basically we've raided. Finally gets a weapon upgrade.
it's okay. You don't need to come tonight then. Try to work on that attunement though for next week.
I think there's an alliance raid nearby.
Nice. I'm really glad he got that. You can choose between the encounter damage and specific to boss damage, but I think I know that, I understand that, but I think by default it picks the boss only. So like from your parse perspective, it changed where like the default, the way it prioritizes it is like the boss damage only. So the Strat Home Holy Water won't show like if you did that parse, it's not comparing that to other people that didn't do it. So it won't really like bump your parses per se. But it is really strong. It's super effective at killing those ads. Even if you use like just like thorium grenades or iron grenades or whatever, all that stuff is really helpful. It just is a lot of AoE damage. Let me check that. Yeah, it might be different. I haven't looked at logs in such a long time, so it might not be like that anymore. I just remember at the time they made it was one specific week. They like changed it, and all of a sudden now it was because it was at the beginning of Classic. Everyone was doing just as much damage as they could to the ads, and then that was bumping their parse very, very high, exactly like what you're saying. And then I was doing that, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring sappers, like whatever, what could be like, and I did a ton of damage. And then I looked at the logs, and it didn't give me credit for it basically by default. Like I had to look through like a different tab, and so my parse didn't actually show as being that high. But they might have changed it back. I haven't looked at logs in a long time because it's like for me, if I don't have Mish and I don't have tier, like I'm only gonna be able to do so good. Like those are two big items, like two really, really significant upgrades that I don't have. Tier being the big one, so it's just. I'm not like, I pay attention like, but either way, it's like I'm going to kind of just do the same thing, and I'm going to get world buffs. I'm going to use consumes and.
Did I just raid warning?
No.
Do you want it?
Sure.
1 second.
Do the warlocks need the bracers at all? I'm assuming. Awesome, does not. Okay. Okay.
I want to see an arcane shot build from you, Trin.
I think we've all
Yeah,
got
I'm
it.
down for that. If you can just pass
yeah,
me
you
all
want
of your tier 2.5.
Okay, never mind.
Hey, Wummy.
What's up?
Can you DE that stuff for me and send it to the guild bank? Just
You
WS.
got it.
Thank you. All right, guys, let's start pulling here. Gonna grab skull here.
You can have a helm and shoulders.
I tried trading it to Zub to DE and then remembered he wasn't there for that kill and it wouldn't let me trade it.
I was there in spirit.
I liked it better when I thought you thought of me first.
Let's throw on a let's throw on a soundtrack here. Let's do
Sorry, Sorry, Loople.
Throwing some Warcraft 2 soundtrack.
Did you guys both just get it last week?
Yep.
Yeah. After they like one pair's dropped in like 7 months. And now we got one rotting. It's so weird.
Yeah, 3 in 2 weeks. Alright, everybody make sure you jump when you go down here so you don't fall in the lava. Dismiss your pets.
So WoW log shows the entire encounter DPS by default on the raid report. However, when you go to your personal WoW logs entry, it shows the damage to boss by default. Yeah, so it's inconsistent. Yeah, that makes sense. That is what I was trying to say. It like changes it when you're looking at your parses, and it wasn't giving credit.
Oh yeah, Icor did that.
Did you pay a bunch of money?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That was exactly like similar numbers to me too. It was like 500 some odd DPS with it, and then it was like 300 some odd DPS without.
I thought you did get them. Right?
I mean, the downside too, like, is there's so little eye levels in.
You're saying that to a guy that couldn't afford
classic, right? Like the difference of like gear is only a couple eye level apart, so the parse by eye level isn't even really that relevant because you can have similar eye level gear, but they're not at all the same in value. Like the eye level difference between like tier and TOEP, right? But then like you're talking about the actual value of having either of those pieces is night and day from like a parsing perspective. So it's I mean, it's just kind of like par for the course. It's not a big deal, but it's for me personally, like if I don't have the gear that I know all of the people parsing really high have, if I don't have Mish, if I don't have tier, like I'm only going to be able to do so much outside of like getting really lucky with, you know, crits and, you know, flasking or really trying to do like everything possible.
Just makes me hate you
But it'd
more.
be one thing like if I had those items, if I was BIS, then the mindset to me would be like trying to parse 100, right? But until I get those pieces, it's like I'm no matter what I do, I'm not gonna be able to outperform people that have all of those items. It's just not gonna happen. So it's like until I get those pieces, I've not really been paying too much attention to logs at all, just because like I know more or less how I'm going to be doing on a fight. Like I can tell just by how much DPS I'm doing or how many resists I get or whatever. But for us either way, I mean, the parse is a really good way to judge yourself, especially as you're getting gear or if you're new to raiding and you're trying to like better understand the raid and find out ways you can improve. But like I know I'm going to be in the ballpark of like 75 to 95 parses depending on the fight and like how lucky I get with procs and stuff like that. And
If you had a friend who can heal any of like a minor,
I mean like that's going to kind of be as good as I'm going to be able to do until I get tier and or Mish. The other upgrades off Cthulhu are all very good. Like, don't get me wrong, like the ring is huge. Like all those things are big upgrades, but they're not comparable at all to like the difference in having tier versus not having tier. Mish is even still, Mish isn't as big, but tier is so huge just because that 2% hit is so insane.
Very hard on a dagger road.
It's just such a high value item.
What should be?
Just do it on your warrior.
You gotta stall for it.
Do the DM use jumper on your warrior.
With longer fights like Nev, having Bravo to read instead of a secondary active trinket is less significant, fortunately. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have good gear, right? Like I have good trinkets, I have good gear, but I'm not BIS from a PvE perspective. And like, I got lucky getting Locomir early, and that was big, and I was able, like, I parsed well, like, you know, a lot of BWL because of that. And I still do well, like, I still do fine, but it's one of those things. 2% hit is pretty significant at this point in raiding. And just like not having tier compared to like I went through and I was like looking at logs like, okay, these guys are killing it, like what are they doing? And like every summary tab I was clicking, it's like every single one of them had tier, and I was just like, all right, It's just kind of like, it's like demotivating, you know what I mean? I was number 1 worldwide Moonkin on Huron without tier or taupe, the no world buffs. Yeah, so maybe I'll start doing, I haven't looked at the no world buffs parses because everyone in your raid has to be non-world buff for that to count though, right? Like, it's like a raid-wide thing for it to log as no world buffs. We'll see. I mean, we'll eventually get it. Like, I'm not. Honestly, like, my biggest priority, like, I enjoy the raid content. It's fun, and obviously I like getting the raid upgrades, but what I really enjoy is the PvP. That's what I spend a lot of the time doing, even though I know I don't stream it as much. It's usually because I just can't, like, focus on the stream. Like, this is easy for me to set aside, like, a period of time. But really, like, my focus and my priority and like what like the bigger upgrades to me or the things that I'm really excited about getting is all of the upgrades of what I'm going to use in my PvP set of gear, because the PvE stuff like will come, but it's not my big my biggest priority, just because like I'm fine if we have, you know, it's like Abyss piece for me and the Warlocks and the Mages. Like, there's a lot of us. If it's a big PvE upgrade for those guys, it's the same way it is for me. Like, I'm fine, you know, just getting it eventually whenever it happens. But the stuff that I am going to use in my PvP set is the stuff that I'm real eager about getting. And tier, unfortunately, even though tier is actually very good, I was talking about this, I think, last stream. I don't think I would actually use tier in my PvP set because of how powerful the engineering trinkets are. And like, once you actually start getting comfortable swapping trinkets around, it gives you such an insane amount of power in certain matchups and playing around those trinkets well, that I don't think it's worth having tier and relying on that 2% hit in your trinket slot, and then if you were to potentially swap that out, lose that 2% hit. Like, it would completely kind of like muck up the way it would muck up the way that I currently like kind of mess with my gear and swap gear. And so, like, for that reason, I think, like, even if I had tier, like, obviously in raid, I'm going to use it 100% of the time. I'm going to always have it on. But for PvP, like, if I'm doing battlegrounds and stuff like that, it's so common for me to swap around my trinkets and stuff in the middle of the BGs or in between fights or when something is on cooldown. I set up my gear so that I have 3% hit irrelevant of my trinkets. And I don't know that I would want to lose one of my trinket slots for having tier. I don't think it would be worth it to me. Because I was thinking about this today, like, Briarwood Reed's a good example. It's just passive damage, right? But there's, like, all of the engineering trinkets can have so much more value in a one-on-one fight than Briarwood Reed is going to give you damage-wise over that fight. Like, reflecting one fireball with the Pyro Reflector is so much more damage than Briarwood Reed is going to give you by the time you kill a mage. Like, it's just completely night and day. Not to mention if you count the fact that you're reflecting back the damage, so it's like almost like twofold. Like, you're dealing damage to them and not taking it for yourself. So things like that, like, I wouldn't want to have to pick between like that and having my 2% hit. Like, I want to have that flexibility in the trinket slots. But that's why, like, honestly, for me, I'm more excited to get the tier 2.5 and like the set that I'm going to use in my PvP set, even over tier. Like, I obviously really want tier, but we have so many people that need it. It's just not a high probability that I get it. Like, it's got to drop and I got to beat like 10 people on a roll. I had 200s in AQ20 and held rank 1 overall for a few weeks. That's enough. At the moment, since I also have no Nef tier AQ40 gear. Yeah, I mean, it's the parsing's cool. I really like it, and I'm glad that it's in the game. But again, it's one of those things, like, your guilds kill speed and your gear, like all of those things, it just, you can only do so much, and so much of it's like skill based. Like the rotation's not, it's not like you're doing some complicated in-depth rotation that 95% of players can't pull off well, right? It's like so much of it just comes down to how quickly you're killing stuff, did you get some lucky crits, and how good is your gear. So, you know, it's more of like one of those things where I'll personally see like, okay, this week I had a 65 on this fight, like what did I do wrong here, like what should I focus on?
That always comes in Texas is a respawn.
That's why I recently gave Locomir to my elemental shaman buddy. Yeah, I mean it's, what the fuck? The thing too now is like, now that AQ's out and that you have all the Staff of Ruin and like the other staff, you have like 2 really good staffs that are reasonable to get, right? And not to mention you can still go into BWL and potentially get that like every week. You have access, the chance of getting a weapon that's good is really high, and you're talking about a difference of some damage, but it's not the difference of Briarwood Reed versus Tier type of upgrade, in my opinion. Like it's just, it's not as big of a difference in as far as like performance wise. And it's unfortunate. I wish they would have, if they would have implemented like AQ, and AQ had like trinkets that was like Briarwood Reed plus 1% hit, right? Something like in the middle. Oh man, that would be so huge. If we could just get hit cap reasonably and get like 12 or 14% hit reasonably with our gear, oh, it would feel so great. Major the least of my problem in PvP. Shadow Priests and Warlocks with Sucky out. Yeah, I've been I've had to,
That was really weird for him.
doing as much PvP, like I always kind of thought as like the ranking as no skill kind of thing, right? It's just like mind numbing how many hours you just have to spend PvPing. And there's definitely some truth to that. But I personally have actually become a lot better at PvP because of the amount of time you're spending and like how familiar you get with different matchups and just how quick you are with like just understing just the game in general. I feel like I've gotten a lot better over the last couple weeks trying to rank.
Yeah, I ate it today too.
Replenish Moon, please. Oh, and the Surger. And the Surger, please. You can. I got Square.
But yeah, Shadow Priests are tough and Warlocks are tough. I've had a couple really good fights with both Shadow Priest and Warlock, and like using the spell reflectors and stuff has been so satisfying.
Okay, let's get Surger. Did you not rebanish? Do not rebanish.
Like I remember I had one fight I had against a Warlock, and he thought for sure the Shadow Bolt that was going off was going to be the Shadow Bolt that killed me. And I reflected it, like I was low. It was like I could have easily popped Reflector earlier in the fight, but I like saved it. And he thought it was gonna kill me, and like it like also had a Wrath going off basically at the same time, and it literally like 100 to 0'd him because it's like the Wrath crit and like his Shadow Bolt crit, and he like insta killed himself. It was those kind of kills and those kind of plays are so much fun in PvP when you get them and they like you start getting good with the timing of the PvP trinkets and or like reflect trinkets and stuff like that. It feels great, man. So much fun. Shadow Priest is a tough one. I've been trying a lot more lately to try and figure out the best ways to counter priests and paladins, and I feel like a big kind of like trick I've been doing lately is using rank 1 Moonfire, because they're basically always just spamming Dispel to get rid of your Moonfire. So I'm using rank 1 Moonfire, and I just am baiting out Nature's Grace procs, and then when I get a Nature's Grace proc, I cast Wrath. So I'm not spending any mana on Moonfire because rank 1's like 25 mana, I think. It's very low mana cost. And you're just doing that to bait out to get a 1 second cast Wrath. And you can basically kind of be doing that on the run, right? Because the 1 second's not a huge amount of downtime as far as like time you need to stay stationary. And so doing that's been pretty helpful with those matchups as far as like squeezing in damage. And if they are having to spam Dispel a lot, those are globals that they're not using to like kill you. So it can kind of work in your favor where you're kind of like stockpiling your burst in a sense by using those downranked
Bad spot.
those downranked Moonfires trying to get procs. And you guys are basically just trading globals, but you're trading globals, and then if you get that Nature's Grace proc, like that subsequent global cooldown is going to be a big burst of damage. It's going to come out super, super fast. It's like one little trick that I've been kind of trying lately that's been decent. It seems to have been relatively successful. Uh-oh.
Oh, look at him go.
Yeah, against PvP sex, Shadow Lock with Succubus, it's only possible with engineering trinkets. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's tough, man. I like playing as a Succubus more than I like playing as a Fell Hunter. The Fell Hunter, like, eating off all your buffs and, like, silencing you is the most miserable experience ever. I hate Fell Hunters. And you can't really kill them because they have such high spell resist. The moment you cast Wrath, they silence you. What do you mean, the Shadow Priest? I mean, either way, if it's Shadow Priest silence, it's one, like, they have that one, basically once during the fight. And if you get silenced, you can still shapeshift. So on silence, a lot of times I'm either using travel form and I create distance and move where they can't, you know, just free cast on me, or I go bear form and I cast Enrage and Frenzied Regen to basically like heal through the damage.
Me too.
You know, or shift bear form and go and bash or whatever. Like you can still use the shapeshift stuff like during that silence, or use it as a time to like create distance. But either way, you're just surviving that like 5-second window, and then outside of that, it's like Priest Fear is easy to like keep enough distance from them where they don't run up and fear you. Love Fell Hunters, just root them and go on distance. I mean, but the problem is since they have such high spell resist, they can resist a lot of your roots. It's the same thing as like if hunters stack nature resist on their pets, they can resist like 4 hibernates in a row and you can't do anything. Like it just, you waste so much time trying to deal with the pet and it just sucks. I mean, in a perfect world, yes, like if you can root the pet, but like I don't know if it's the tier 1 or like if it's a certain spec that they use that does it, but the Fell Hunters gaining like that massive amount of spell resist makes it hard to deal with them specifically as balance. So far in my experience. Problem with the Succubus is their charm's like 50-yard range, yeah. I mean, but the Warlock can't be doing damage to you during that time, right? So it's like they basically like setting you up and then like punching you and then setting you up and then punching you. It can definitely be bad. Neither are ideal. But the thing is, Succubus doesn't have the same resistances, so you can like Moonfire Insect Swarm the Succubus and like hit it with a Wrath and like kill it, basically. It doesn't have that much health. So it just, I don't know. It seems... I so far seem to have an easier time dealing with Succubus over Fell Hunter, but we'll see. Maybe after I rank a little more, we get some more PvP, I might feel differently about that. But I haven't had very much luck dealing with Fell Hunters. Might have to start downranking. We like have no mana. They put you in the fear lock. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a tough combo. I mean, I want to start getting. I haven't in the past really spent too much time having my PvP trinket on, but for that exact reason, what I was saying, like to gain the value of Briarwood Reed, like whatever that value is over the whole fight, does not outweigh, for example, like being able to like trinket out of a kidney and avoid all that damage from a rogue is way more damage saved on you than it is damage you're gonna get out of Briarwood Reed, right? Or like getting out of a fear. Like all of those things are just, it's a huge amount of damage you're basically like mitigating in a sense.
No.
How sad is that, Gunkor?
Oh.
0.4%.
So I've been trying to like be better about keeping either like a reflector or a PvP trinket on instead of having Briarwood Reed in my secondary slot. I love toe up though. Like I'm so partial to using toe up in PvP. It's very, it's very hard when I take it off because I am so just in the habit of clicking it like every time it's in my opener.
You guys can make me scroll down to look at your numbers.
That
again.
I really like having toe up. Like the thing is about toe up is that you can gain so much value in toe up in the first like 3 or 4 seconds, even if you don't use the full 15, that it makes sense having it as a DPS trinket. Briarwood Reed I don't feel the same way about. Oh.
Oh, Strava can have that.
That's so humble of you.
I'm saving my main spec enchanter roll.
You're in the next sphere, but you'll get DR'd, right? So like if you use it on a kidney or if you use it on like the first sphere, there's a higher chance because unless they're just chain casting fear on you, which isn't going to be really effective from a DPS perspective, they might like anticipate the trinket potentially, but it's still going to be good because you're going to get at least DR'd, right? Like you're going to at least have the big scary fear out of the way. So if you're able to like do that and pop a rejuve on you or like war stomp regrowth or whatever, then at least you have hots on you to help like bridge the gap of while you're feared the following times. That's why I like that feral charge build so much, because it gives us access to an interrupt, which can be so strong against priests and warlocks, because when they're going to fear you is pretty telegraphed. Like kind of the warlock rotation, right? Like you can expect when they're going to try and fear you, and being able to basically anticipate that and feral charge to interrupt that, get in and then get like a full bash on them, like 5-second bash, and then follow up. Like it's just so much utility against those matchups. So what do we think on this? We should get the 25 strength. I mean the 15 strength.
Yeah, let's have Uniglar take a little bit. Actually, Dryad, you think you can just grab the rest yourself?
Is it better to get one of those like druid weapons from the quests than it is to use this? Yeah, I saw that you posted earlier.
I don't know if that's just me.
You can't. Is 25 strength a thing?
Okay.
Or is that not out yet? Is that like a phase 6 enchant?
We'll get the banishes out. I'm gonna bring Gar back to this position where Sabbath is jumping, and that's when we're gonna start attacking. All right.
Blade flurry go whoosh.
Be a weird please.
Yeah, that being said, I got Goblin Sapper charges if anybody wants any.
Did we try to pull Gar without the ads?
I think 25 strength's out, or at least 25 agility isn't it?
Distract them.
Maybe not though.
There's a way to do it.
Cause like the druid weapon is what? It's like 160 attack power. Like is that just a better feral weapon though than this? I actually didn't even think about that until right now. I don't think I have that quest on me. No, I just have field duty.
Okay, my taunt got resisted. Give me a second. Mocking blow.
Trying to help try bring somebody's back.
3-piece AQ20 set is pretty strong. Yeah, I thought about trying to get that actually.
Hold the skull if you want.
25 agility is out. Okay. If your bear, the attack speed weight is 30 attack power, you can go cat, agility is better. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The one-handed mace from AQ20, is that better? Is that more DPS than rocking Draconic Maul? It'd be kind of cool to get that, honestly. Give me a reason to, I mean, we all know that eventually we're getting into Dreams, okay? It's just a matter of time. End of Dreams is going to be ours once Phase 6 comes out. But I kind of want to try, like,
It's okay to get.
I've thought about trying the trying out Feral while I'm doing my rank grind, just to kind of help break it up.
Moon and bring it out. Do not be by Moon when he dies.
Just because I think, like, I feel like anytime I play any of the other specs,
I just wanted to die.
it makes me better overall. Like, it makes me better at playing Druid just because it forces you to change your play style. And like part of what's like part of what makes being good at playing Druid is your ability to quickly play the hybrid aspects where it's just second nature and you're not having to think so much. Like, you've played Feral, so like if you're in a situation where some kind of a Feral, you know, gameplay is optimal, you just know what to do right away. And like same with like healing and like, you know, balanced DPS, like knowing burst combos with your balanced DPS stuff. And so it's like a part of me wants to just try Feral out because we have the full rank 10 gear, which isn't amazing, but it's good. And I have like good enough off pieces that I kind of want to test it out just like that. But I wonder if it's worth it probably to get the AQ20 mace. Do you think that's better than the Draconic Maul? I'm out of mana. I don't want to use any potions or anything. Do I have the strat offhand? I do. Tome of whatever that's like 8 agility, 8 strength, 8 stam. That offhand I have, yeah. 25 agility is only on two-handed weapons? Okay. Yeah, so if I do the one-hander, it's got to be the 15. The 3 set is what? It's the weapon, cloak, and ring? Is that what it is? Weapon, cloak, and ring?
Alright, let's get those reds out.
That with the one hand is better for sure. So we could go... Dude, now I'm getting kind of excited. That would be actually pretty fun. So we go cloak. I can start working on that. I'll trade this back to Golosita then. Where is he?
Oh, I'm rich. Look at all this salt.
Nice. All right, well, we just got 50 gold back for that one, boys. He was nice about passing it, but I felt bad since he won the roll. I was like, I'll give you 50 gold if you don't want it. He's like, okay. Yeah, so what if we had full? Do you think full tier 2.5 is better than the rank 10 gear? I feel like rank 10 is probably better because of the move speed. Gives you 60 attack power from strength, whereas the mace gives you 140. Yeah. And the spell power can be good if you actually like use Moonfire or heal or whatever, right? Like there's still value in that, even if it's not like your main stat. You lose 10 stam, that's fine.
24th.
Guys, I have literally no bag space. It sucks. It sucks.
Alright, everybody go sign up.
This
Let's turn this
says
music off for a
AQ.
second. But we might do that. I'll probably start working on that quest here. Try and get that stuff together. Maybe mix it up. We'll do some. I do plan on doing some PvP streams here in the next couple weeks. I just want to make sure I do it at a time when like I don't have other stuff going on and I'm able to like actually focus and read chat and you guys aren't having to listen to like vacuuming and stuff. So that's that is my plan because we are ranking to some extent. I don't know if I'll push a full 13 right now, but I've been PvPing a lot either way, so I feel like it'd be fun to
There we go. Now it's
do some PvP streams.
updating.
They're spamming it to get
Can't
the
wait to
first
see
one.
the name shoot up.
No.
It's best at that.
How did
lost
how
my
did get it
slot.
first?
That's not accurate.
This is harsh.
No, there's no way. I was
Vacuuming.
sixth.
There's no way I
Oh no, what
was
was it? It was a blow dryer. That's what it was. It wasn't vacuuming. It was a blow dryer.
Alright, guys. Nice job tonight.
How
Sign
was
up if you haven't
Wiggles
already.
before everyone?
All right, guys. I am. I'll leave you guys with our little PvP outro clip here. But I'm gonna hop off. We have officer meeting, and I am going to log here. But like always, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Hopefully, you guys had fun. And I'll be back for sure on Thursday. We got AQ40 on Thursday. We might be able to do AQ20 on Tuesday, and I might hop on stream for that. And I'm going to be trying to throw on some PvP streams, like I said, when I can. So, but yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you guys on Thursday. See ya.